He made me stare out the window out on 494. He goes, "What do you see?" I go, "Cars." I go, "What do you see?" He goes, "Prospects. Look at all those prospects. Look at all those people. There's 2 million people in this town. What's the problem with everybody? Go see them. See the people." He just kept pointing at 494.
Drew.
He did that with everybody.
So over the years, Todd's been very generous to take me to quite a few sporting events, go for sporting events. So one time, a couple years back, I thought I'd repay the favor, take him to a Gopher basketball game. What I didn't tell him was that it was in the student section. And I enough to fit right in.
That's right. I told you not to worry about that. He'll be going there anyway.
We all know a lot of lines that you use on a regular basis, and my favorite one is plan your work and work your plan. You know, and I think one of the things that you reiterate over and over to us, which just continues to ring true, is that the business isn't really that different now when we're doing it versus when you were doing it. Some of the details are different. Paperwork is multiplied by 100. You can't take an apple with one piece of paper anymore. But the bottom line is see the people, and you just bang that drum still today. So I always love it when you're turning in an app. You know, you're up there, and Lori's thinking about calling in sick. You know, she doesn't want to turn it in. And you always say, everyone that walks by, you said, you know, if I was really trying, you better watch out. You know, I got a little business here, but I'm not even trying. So thanks for showing us the example.
It's pretty entertaining sitting right behind Todd, because his computer is, I think, possessed. Or at least he thinks it is.
Is what?
His computer's kind of possessed.
Oh.
And about twice a week, something's going on. Things are popping up. He doesn't know how to turn it on or off or get the security going. And so Hy and I are kind of the
Tech support.
Yeah, we are tech support, which is funny because we kind of suck at computers. But so I was entertaining that, and also just how much you say how much the business has changed, but it hasn't. Like Eric said, like the core stuff is the same, but the paperwork is so different. You complain about it all the time, but you still love it, and that's why you come in. So you're a great example.
How long did it take us to get a computer? That was like a 2 or 3 year battle. I use that computer. I'm not using one.
So you know what? Kind of how it is.
Yeah, I'm fairly new. I haven't worked much with Todd. I see him around. He's helpful. But what struck me, it's been 15 years in business. That's very motivational for me, and probably for the new guys too. That means there's a lot of future in this business. And I asked him, did you get rich in 50 years? He said, I did well. So that's pretty motivational for us. I wish him good luck.
Come on, Laura.
I can't do that. I have a loud, booming voice. I was going to talk about the same thing that Eric talked about. I did pull one of Todd's files. They all look like that.
Nice clean.
I can verify that.
Todd's going to be a doctor at one
He has
time.
come out and showed me the one-page app. He comes in the morning and he goes, I have an app for you. And I go, oh no. And he goes, I know, I've had to take a tranquilizer myself. So I went over with a fine-tooth comb, and you all know that that's what I do too. And then I'll go back to Todd and say, you know, there's a few things we have to talk about here, 3 or 4 things that are missing. And he curses the apps again. And he beats up the copy machine quite often. But I'd like it to. But I do love working with you, and I've had fun getting to know you, and you are awesome. Sandy, too. Congratulations.
Well, again, I'm pretty new too. I'm pretty new too. Been here about 2.5 years, but me and Todd have some pretty good stories already up to this point. I don't know how many of you have heard the hot sauce story or not, but Todd has a way of coming in and very philosophical and give you lots of good advice. But I was sitting at my desk one day and I was on the phone talking to a client. Todd walks in and just starts talking to me while I'm on the phone. And I was new and kind of pissed at the client, so I was like, all right, we need to have a hot sauce challenge with Todd. I said, you gotta try this hot sauce. He puts some on his finger and he sticks it in his mouth. I think that was the last time he's ever going to come talk to me in my office. So, thanks for coming and talking and everything, and pointing to Bill on the computer issues. It might have something to do with the new radio station he has in his new car. That might be transferring over to the computer. So, you don't know what I'm talking about. Talk to him.
Todd works. Todd is right outside of my office. Is this on?
No.
Boom.
Fix it. Todd's right outside of my office, so I'm part of his IT squad as well. And Todd, he gets frustrated, and he says to me that the only person that works in the office is Mark Zucchi. That's the first thing. And then he comes in and he goes, come here, I gotta show you something. Come here. No, just get over here. Come over here. So I come over to him. He goes, I gotta show you something. He goes, you know what? See this thing here? And I go, your computer? And he goes, yep. It's ruined the world. It's ruined the world. Then he pulls out his one card system, and he's got all these lead cards from 1963, which he's still selling on. Because his new thing is, you should talk to anybody that's in their 60s or 70s and their parents still alive, because why wouldn't they take out $100,000 of life on their parents? It's a pure investment. And he's still selling that, and he's still writing business, and looks like a doctor wrote it. But then the other thing is he has to have me help him get in his email. His latest problem is that his online email, he can't find the spell check.
Exactly.
Right, so I showed him how to do it on his computer in the office, but then he said his computer at home doesn't work. And I said, it's an online program, it's the same thing. And I said, you can't hate, and then my ending line to him when he gets really frustrated is, Goop, you can't bitch about technology when your car is sending you emails about the tire pressure.
Got a lot of stories about Todd, but I'll tell you one that I have never told you. For years, Todd has had all the Twins tickets and Wild tickets and football tickets. And whenever he doesn't have somebody, he's not going, he'll call me, and then all of a sudden it stopped. I didn't get any more calls anymore. The only thing I can think of is I got a little short guy from Milwaukee that we don't quite have 64 beers like Kyle, but the little guy can't quite hang with us so well. So we had, of course, Todd's tickets. He's been there, a Viking ticket holder for how many years? Since it started. So his seats are all with lots of other people like Todd. So we come wheeling in there for one game, and we've been having a few cocktails, and my little guy's been having a little bit too much. And he stands up and he falls right over into one of the gals that sat right in front of you. He lost his balance. So I think that's probably why the tickets quit coming.
I remember when I first started working with Todd, I remember that it was the time when he got on the internet. So I got to go over to his house and help him get on AOL. I still remember those days, if you guys remember, it's when you would log on and they'd say, hi Todd, and every day would say hello. True story. Yeah, friend. I'm going to let Todd share some stories. If you haven't had a chance to have lunch with Todd, it's a pleasure. I'm blessed because Todd and I have our standing Badger Gopher game, and Todd hasn't collected on that for years. He said that his one hope before he dies is to collect on the Badger Gopher standing lunch bet that we have. But if you have a chance to go with Todd, it's story after story after story after story. And it's amazing to hear what he went through to get to where he's at. Very proud of his accomplishments. They can go on for hours. And I think it's a great opportunity for young advisors and veterans as well to have that opportunity. Remember when I was young in the business, I attended NAFA meetings, and I was young, and I looked like I was very young at that time, and I walked in, and it seemed like they're all like Todd, gray hair, bald heads. And there were a lot of old folks in this industry. And what I liked about that was the life stories segment, which was one of, like Todd, who was around 30, 40, 50, 60 years in the industry. They share the story of when the business got in there. Maybe when maybe they paid a claim or realized it's not just about a transaction, but it's about the impact it has on other people. That was always one of the themes of their presentation. The second theme for these advisors that have been around is something along the lines of, I've been in the industry 50 years, and my only regret is I don't have another 50 years to help you make this a better lives. When you think of that, the impact we have, as Sandy and I were talking on the way over, the heart that Todd has is about helping people. And if I've heard this once, I've heard it a million times from Todd. And back to your comments. This business, I've had a good life. I've made a good living, made a lot of friends. I've traveled better than most millionaires. Now I'm retired and I have my hobby. So, with that, Todd, if you want to tell a story or two.
Say it all on the other mic. I'll tell you one thing I'm really touched about this here.